correction. Right now, I think the shall has been removed from the second stanza. Yeah, so we shouldn't be hopeful. Let's believe in the moment.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kamal. Please let's have our seats. Okay, without further ado, I would just invite the moderator to take over. Please let's welcome Ms. Delma Gogwim to take us further in this event.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just learned, I don't know, for those that follow the news, I heard that the federal government have approved 5 billion naira for every state as palliative. And I'm sure if we were here to collect, nobody would sit at the back. So can we move to the front? Because we're about to get something that is more valuable, right? And because we're young people, I'm sure you want to see those pictures and you're like, yo, these pictures are dope. But when the way we are seated, it's like they scatter food for chicken and it's not looking good. So please, if there's an empty seat in front of you, can you cover that up? I'm sure you've heard that all over your lives. So please, I'm going to just inconvenience you for a few seconds and let's fill up the empty spaces in front. I'm sure part of the things as young people that we love is packaging. So let's package the event. Can we cover the empty spaces? Please, if there's an empty seat in front of you, do me that favor. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So we can just do that. And it helps. It helps. Del Margo Gwim, feel free to call me Del. I am Queen of the Mic of Eagles 102.3 FM. And I am so honored to be doing this right here for Women of Divine Destiny Initiative. And I will just promise you one thing this beautiful Friday afternoon, that for every second you spend here, something about you will change. A better understanding, a clarity, and a whole lot more. So I'll plead with us that we just give our attention, just a few hours, and we're going to have an amazing time together. And talking about our attention, can we please put our phones on silent so that we don't get any distractions? And you know, there's something with us young people. It is when the person is speaking, that's when you remember the one that happened to you in 1864. And you want to share with the person sitting next to you. So I beg us, let's not distract each other. So it will be nice for us to focus and get all the information that we can get in the course of the program. The restrooms are at the reception. When you get to the reception, the beautiful lady at the reception will direct you to where the restrooms are. And also, if you have any questions, do well to just write them down. There's a popular saying that the shortest pencil is bigger than the greatest memory. So if you can write those questions, we would love to take as many questions as possible. And before I introduce our resource persons today, the set person of the Women of Divine Destiny Initiative is a mother and a young person. She is so 2023-ish. An amazing personality who thinks ahead. You would not believe that about 8 years or 9 years ago, somebody as the First Lady of the state would put her slogan as everything must be wow. Who does that if it's not a 2023-ish person, right? Ladies and gentlemen, please with a warm clap, let's put hands together for the founder of the Women of Divine Destiny Initiative, Zinaria Nyoma Nketi Rajas Okorocha, PhD. We're always honored to have you, ma'am. Thank you so much for doing this for humanity. We don't take it for granted. And today, right here, we have 3 plenary sessions that will be done by amazing, amazing personalities. We're so glad to have them. And the first one is ethical leadership and value systems. A very important topic and powerful, and will be taken by our very own Victor Prince Dixon. He's already seated. Let's put our hands together for him. We also have the second plenary session will be taken on personal branding. You see why I say you should cover the seats. Let's the branding. You understand? Personal branding and networking. And it was beautiful when we started the networking session here, just giving each other a warm compliment. And that will be taken by Dr. Naomi Ose. Okay, so I need to, Dr. Naomi. Naomi. Are you here, ma? I murdered the second name, but I will revive it in Jesus' name. So I will get the correct spelling of the name so that I don't mess it up. So I will stick with Dr. Naomi for now. So as soon as she comes in, I'm sure I'll get the correct spelling of the surname before she gets here so that I don't disgrace myself. And also, we have exploring the role of technology and innovation in job creation and discussing emerging fields and opportunities in the digital economy. Awesome topic. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hamilton Gabriel will be taking that. A warm clap will do. And so, if we are set, our guest speakers are set, can we do this like we mean it? We're young people, and this is not a sober moment. It's an exciting moment. Can we put our hands together and welcome right here Victor Prince Dixon for his session? Let's keep doing that. And sir, anytime you see Nene, it means time is up. So forgive us. Yes.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Your Excellency. Thank you for having us and having this. When they send the title to me, I believe this is one of the most important titles in the world, and even in Nigeria today. The more I explain, the more you understand a little bit more. And I have only 30 minutes. And 30 minutes to do something that is supposed to take 18 years to do. And I'll explain to you, yes. When you go to school, for you to become a professional, it takes you 4 years on the average, right? But medical world, sometimes it takes 6 to 8 years. But it means that for you to become a professional enough for someone to believe in you, employ you, and pay you for it, it takes 4 years for you to build a skill, right? But then for you to build values, it takes 18 years of parenting. And that is why it is different. And that is why sometimes it is difficult. Because as I discuss a little bit further, you realize that everything in life is dependent on what we call capacity. Depends on skill. And then for you to be skillful, for you to have capacity, it's divided into two. One is soft skill, the other one is called hard skill. Hard skill is the one you are employed and then you pay for. So you go to school to learn hard skill. But then, ideally, parenting is supposed to help you build. The purpose to why you see government and the rest of them will tell you need 18 years before someone becomes mature. It simply means that it takes 18 years for you to be instilled with values, for you to understand the meaning of patience, for you to understand the meaning of humility. It takes 18 years. Consistently, always telling that child, no, this thing you did is wrong. This is what justice is all about. This is how to relate with people. This is how to communicate with people. That education takes 18 years before you get it right. Now, imagine that is if you have proper parenting. So now, assuming when there is no proper parenting, that's where now you now realize where the challenges. It becomes a lifetime struggle of trying to get what you're supposed to get with 18 years. Now, if you study properly and understand the principle of success and everything we've done, one of the key things you realize is that people are succeeding with hard skill, but they are failing with soft skill. That is why you have good tailor. You know it's good, but you're avoiding them because they can't be honest, because they will cut your clothes and then they will keep it there. That is why you understand, you see good engineers, you know they are good. But if you contract them, they will steal the process away and mess it up. So you now realize that the problem of the modern world is not a problem of hard skill. It's a problem of soft skill. And that is why value is everything. The challenge of Nigeria is not what people call economy, money and wealth. That's not the issue. That's a secondary issue. As we discuss, and I'll prove to you why. The major challenge of Nigeria is that we have people who have weak value system. And because they have a weak value system, negotiation cannot be honored. Agreement is not sustainable. So I put you in a place you're supposed to solve a problem, you can't solve it. You have the expertise to solve a problem, but the software is destroying the expertise you have to solve the problem. And so we have Nigerians who don't have the proper value to fix in Nigeria, even though we have the skill. And that is why you see when you come to ethics and value, it is extremely very dangerous. And so quickly, I will show you and explain some few principles just so that you understand. But let me start this way. This is 1,000 naira, our new notes. Do you think it's the same? Are the values the same? Are you sure? The values of this 1,000, both of them are the same. Why? Who wants to try? Why? Because they are the same amount. I'll ask you this question, so I want you to pay critical attention. First is amount, right? They are the same amount. Okay. I'll ask again. So, after amount, considering amount and considering every other thing, is this 1,000, these two of them, are they the same? What is the two of them? The same. 1,000, 1,000. They are the same. You still insist they are the same? Okay. At the end of the class, I'll ask you this question again, right? But I'll give you a parameter so that you judge it. Then that's where you know the meaning of value. So we all have agreed this 1,000 is the same. But they are not the same. I'll prove to you when we are done. Based on value, principles, and ethics, this same 1,000 will not be the same. It's the same money. But at the point you apply ethics, at the point you apply principles, you just notice that the value of this 1,000 will change. Then you understand why some economy are better than some. Some people's life are more better than others. So let's go. First, for you to understand the meaning of value, you need to first understand we use it as a bunch. One of the greatest warfare of the universe is called the warfare of meaning. Every warfare in this world is based singularly on the meaning of meanings. Meaning, the meaning I have is what gives me the perspective I have, right? The meaning you have is what gives you the perspective. For even if we have conflict today, the conflict arises from the meaning I carry, right? If I have a meaning that hurting you is not a big deal, I can hurt you and I will explain myself away, right? Okay. So we have to get the meaning right, then you understand what values, principles are there. So the first thing for us to do is we have to separate the difference between principle, values, and ethics. We have to be very clear on it because they are not the same. We use it interchangeably, but they are not the same. They have their purpose, they have where it is used, they have their cause and their effect. Now, you will always have these three when you're discussing anything that has to do. You have the first one, is called principle. The second one is what you call values. The third one is what you call ethics. Now, each of them are owned by different environment, and I need us to be very clear. The person that owns principle is the owner of the universe. And that is why principle, etymologically in history, it simply means foundation, right? And if you're a Christian, the Bible will say, when the foundation is, what can they? So you're right also, but the idea is that if the foundation is not working well, even if you're good, there's nothing you can do about it. Do you understand? So principle is owned by the universe and by the owner of the universe. It cannot be tampered with. No matter the kind of school you went to, no matter how intelligent and smart you think you are, it cannot be tampered with. You try it, you don't end well. Why? This is what judges and rules the universe. So when they say don't steal, if you say don't treat another badly, all of those things are summed under this. Why? Because each aspect and unit of the universe has specific instruction that it has been given on how to rule people. Now, most times, if you're a Christian, I'm a Christian and I can give you the background from that. If you're a Christian, when you talk about wisdom, the Bible will say, in all you're getting, get understanding and wisdom, right? Fine. The reason why that is very important is because in the creation of the universe, in the book of Genesis, where everybody talk about it, what we fail to realize is for you to understand how the world was created, you don't depend on Genesis. Genesis will say, and God said, right? So you need to come to the book of Proverbs, and then you hear the Bible will now tell you, wisdom was with the Lord when he was creating the universe. I was busy taking notes, meaning I was the one that understood what he told the water. Do you understand? I was the one that was there when what he told the trees. I was there when he told everything and gave them the instruction on how to rule the universe. Because if you're a creator, you know that we develop the next phase of what you call values. Is this one. This one is built by culture. Meaning, we a group of people come together and agree that this is how we want to live our life. Based on their understanding of the principle, then you have what you call a value system. So every culture, they will tell Igbo people will say, we don't eat ABCD, right? Yoruba people will say, we eat so, so, and so. In marrying or in marriage, these are the processes we use before we marry. Because it is formed by people who belong to a particular community. Then going a little bit further, they stepped it down again in professionalism. In profession. Then you create the word ethics. Now, if you go to school, you hear the word law. Everybody will tell you John Locke was one of the major guys that pushed the concept of law, for those who did law and know the background. Then John Locke laws were drawn from these principles, where you have the universe, the universal principle, cultural principle, and then professional ethics. Those who are into medicine will know of what they call the Hippocratic Oath. For anybody who's a doctor, we simply says that when you are trained to become a doctor, there are certain things they will tell you shouldn't do as a doctor, right? So that becomes where you get your professional ethics. So you have those who are into the architectural world, they get their professional ethics. So all ethics are drawn from cultures. Cultures are drawn from, let's go again. All ethics are drawn from culture. Culture are drawn from, we have to be clear. We are right, but I want us to say as if we understand. All principles, all ethics are drawn from, okay. All ethics are drawn from, all values are drawn from. You can sometimes, if you break this, who did you offend? Your profession. If you break this, who are you offending? Your culture. If you break this, who are you offending? Fine. You need to have that clarity. It is when you have this clarity, you now know what to temper with and things you can never temper with. No matter what you call innovation, being smart, I'm good, I can change things. There are things you can touch. There are things you cannot touch. Because this is usually not touchable. I don't care where you go to. I don't care the school you have gone to, how exposed you are. These ones are usually not touched. You have to learn them. Okay, now, this is how it goes. Now, how do we build this? Because don't forget our topic. This is how we build. A father comes, meets the mother. Or okay, a woman comes, the man comes. What would they give birth to? A child, right? If they have a child, what do they introduce? Where do they follow to build what they've built? Whether you are aware or not. Whether you're conscious about it or not. This is the part you follow. Now, this is the challenge we have, is this. If this guy is an untruthful fellow, I met a woman who's an untruthful fellow, and then they go this way, what would they produce? They will what? Truthful? Are you sure? If an untruthful fellow meets an untruthful guy, what would they produce? If a truthful guy meets an untruthful woman, what will he produce? Eh? You said what? In between. You see, that's the problem. There's no in between. There's usually no in between. Now, because this is what I'm trying to help you, I'm bringing is this is what I teach in about human mind mastery. One of my expertise is about teaching people how the mind actually works, how to design a mind for a person, for a community, for business, and as a nation. So that's what gave me depth into this thing. And because of time, I might not go deeper on how this affects you. Why? Because the whole of this, the purpose of this is not to know it. The purpose of this is this. The ultimate aim of life is decision making. Everything you learn about life is to make a decision. So if something is corrupted with the instrument of decision, what do you think happens with your decision? Thank you. So the issue is not the decision you're making. The issue is that the instrument of decision is corrupted. So if your instruments of decisions are corrupted because you don't understand what it means, every decision, even though you have good intention, will still be corrupted. So that's why you see good people. Some people have gotten access to it, so this has been corrupted. So we pay attention to the rituals. What are the rituals? Pray 7 times a day. Pray 40 days. You understand? Give your offering, give your tithe. But the spirituality that you're supposed to get here, you don't get it. Because what is the purpose of spirituality is to build you from being a mere mortal to become like a divine. That is the purpose of being spiritual. So spirituality is not a destination, it's a process for something. Meaning I, God, made the universe. But if you don't have my property by cheating people, because the foundation that is supposed to help guide you, dead. So all what you think is how to make money. But you don't realize that if you make money and cheat another person in the process, you didn't make money. We'll still come back to our discussion. Money. That's what qualifies one 10,000 different from another 10,000. Because one 10,000 has this, the universe, in good terms or against it. One 10,000 have the culture for or against it. One 10,000 have the ethics for or against it. So at the end of the day, money is not the same. Okay. So you move and you go through all this process and you end here. This is where our challenge comes. Most people focus so much on here was wrong because you were a child. There was nothing you could do now. Abi? You were born into Nigeria. You see corruptions. You see things being cheated. You see things going wrong. You have a reason to say, don't blame me. That's how the environment is. But you see, the rule of life is that until you get to 18 years, you can excuse what you see. But after 18 years, you must be responsible for what happened next. Do you understand the logic? At the point you were a child that you couldn't do much, the universe will understand that it's not your fault. But immediately you enter into maturity, the universe will hold you accountable. I don't want to enter to what they call universal mechanics. That's how that thing is calculated. But I can't enter because of time and the scope of what I'm doing today. So based on that, you can accept things can go wrong with Popsy, Momsy. They didn't get it right. Okay.